Well, I've given in. I'm back on Twitter. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay on there. Who knows? My address is as it was before, which is at slip_p_h. I'm not sure how active I'm going to be, but there you go. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I like to keep myself to myself. I don't get involved in anything. I don't get involved with arguments on my videos. I don't get involved in Twitter arguments. I just pretty much keep myself to myself. I haven't been invited on radio shows. I haven't had any contact with anyone about anything. It literally has been me, my computer, and that is it. I haven't had any spooky MI5 people break into my house and plant bugs. Well, I probably wouldn't know if I did, would I? My dogs haven't started howling in the middle of the night because there's someone suspicious around the place. It's just me, my computer, subscription to the Daily Telegraph, and other free websites that you can get news from. That's it, that's me. So imagine my surprise when I stumbled across this video. It was from September last year, and it's titled Pagan Stalker, Mark Davis, aka Mimicker, aka Slipknot P. Harrington. The guy who is obviously in his mum's basement, he's probably been masturbating too much, has accused me of being this Mark Davis character. Don't know who he is. Apparently he goes around harassing everyone. Listen, I don't harass anybody. I found out through harsh experience several years ago, probably about 10 now almost I guess, there is no point really arguing with people. They're just a complete waste of time. So I just want to say to this Angus Baron, I guess he's Pagan Stalker, that you've got the wrong guy, okay? So don't go down the Slipknot P. Harrington route, because Slipknot P. Harrington is not Mark Davis. There are people who follow me on YouTube who do know who I am, and they can vouch that I'm not Mark Davis. So can you please take your threats elsewhere? Thank you. Anyway, moving on to the more important stuff. Did you catch this article? Free to walk London streets, the extremist preacher and mentor of Jihadi John. The mainstream media would be funny if what they reported, or should I say rather repeated, didn't have such serious consequences. Free to stroll Britain's cities. This is Al-Qaeda cleric suspected of radicalising Jihadi John. Did you hear that? Already we're moving away from the words mentor to just suspected of radicalising him. Anyway, this article goes on. Security services are understood to be investigating links between Hani al-Sibai, however you bloody pronounce it, and his influence on the West London terror network in which Jihadi John, unmasked as Muhammad Anwazi, operated. It's claimed that al-Sibai, a charismatic preacher, had captivated a number of young Muslim men who subsequently went abroad to fight jihad. In a court case last year, he was accused of having provided material support to Al-Qaeda and conspired to commit terrorist acts, an allegation he denies. I wonder if our government will ever be in the dock for providing material support to Al-Qaeda and conspiring to commit terrorist acts. Anyway, on we go. Despite being officially identified as an affiliate of the notorious terror group al-Sibai, citing his human rights, has thwarted government attempts to deport him for more than 15 years. Instead, the Egyptian-born cleric lives in a leafy street in fashionable West London, in the same neighbourhood where Anwazi and his fellow jihadists in the London Boys terror cell hung out. The London Boys was a name given to a sleeper cell set up by Osama bin Laden, whose members were sent to training camps in Somalia and ordered back to the UK to carry out attacks. It is not clear what direct contact, if any, al-Sibai 54 had with Anwazi, but he posts radical material on websites he runs, which are said to be highly influential on young jihadists. So this guy's gone from being the mentor to the world's most wanted terrorist who has beheaded far less people than the UK and America's great friend and ally Saudi Arabia. But don't mention that Saudi Arabia have beheaded more people this year than ISIS, okay? As that doesn't fit into the blinkered black and white view of the world that MI5 and MI6 and the rest of the security services are trying to portray to us. So he's gone from being a mentor to the world's #1 terrorist to Actually, we don't know what contact he had with Jihadi John, if any, really. All in 8 sentences. Unbelievable. The mainstream media are truly a fucking joke. Rustom Zamani was recently jailed for 22 years for having a hammer and a knife on him and telling someone who couldn't be named at a place that couldn't be let known that he was going to behead someone like Lee Rigby somewhere at some point in time in the future at an undisclosed location. So, if there really was any hard evidence that al-Sibai radicalized Jihadi John, the world's most wanted terrorist, then al-Sibai would be in the slammer this afternoon. This is fear porn. This is a complete fear porn article intended to make you shit yourself and beg the authorities even more to look after you and give up even more of your rights for them to save you. They cannot save you. The government are the terrorists. The government will not save you. If there truly was a war on terror, the first thing we would have done is close our borders instantly, together with withdrawing our support for NATO, who appear to be helping ISIS. But there's one or two things going on here. Either one, there is no threat and it's all made up to scare us into submission, to clamp down on our liberties at home with propaganda to ensure that we have another war to kill more people in a far off land and make armament companies more money. Or two, the powers that be want an attack to happen to give government the excuse to clamp down on liberties at home, have another war, kill more people in far off lands and make the armament companies more money. Either way we're fucked unless we wake up.